With that said, everybody, let's see if tonight is the night. We have taken another step forward with this Sharks team. Is it better than what we ran with last night? Yes, it is. Is it good enough to win a Stanley Cup? I do not know. But it is a really promising team. Anytime you can give up 4 first-round picks to get Paul Kariya and then also acquire Pavel Bure on an expiring contract, and Rod Brindamore for that matter, you got to do it. This team is hilarious, really. And I'm hoping they're going to be good enough to get it done, especially now with the likes of Pavel Datsyuk being on this team. I mean, this team is sick. That's the only way to put it. And our defense, of course, also saw improvements. We picked up Rob Blake, picked up Ray Bourque for the hell of it, because it's Raymond Bourque, and the goaltender is Patrick Waugh. We have stacked the odds in our favor about as well as we possibly could. The only thing I have to do is turn auto-rotate back on before we forget to do that. Where Chara, still unsigned for the year. He'll be signed next year. Are you playing with Cap? No, Cap has been off the whole time. There has been no salary cap. No cap. No cap. But what I did want to look at here is, because of the whole no cap thing being a factor, is knowing that some of these other teams are still pretty damn strong, right? I'm not going to look at everybody, but if we look at some of the great teams that we've seen, Buffalo is no longer what they used to be. Then again, it's also preseason. I just remembered. Let's send them to the start of the year and then see what these teams look like. So we brought in a goalie coach that was better. Shout out to Herd Fan. How upset is Nugent he wasn't there for the promotional? As far as I know, he's been vacationing on Cape Cod. I think he's been fine. I think he's doing okay. Pretty sure. All right, yeah. See, so it's like the Ducks still have a Teemu Solani, Jamnoff, and Keith Kachuk line. Buffalo, they do still have LaFontaine, Mogilny, and Howard-Chuck on the team. Colorado still has Sakic, Sundin. They're playing Forsberg as their third-line center. Garpenlov is still with them, too. I mean, there are some teams. Detroit, with that top 6. I mean, obviously, like Brian Skrudlin being their second-line center is pretty nuts. But there are still some teams that are absolutely stacked. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. God, Lemieux is 31, 3 years left. Yager's 25, 4 years left. We have a great team, man, but I feel like we're going to need some luck if we are going to win anything, especially now without our next 4 first-round picks. 95, 94, 92 are the ratings, though. Pavel Bure shows up as our best player. We could use a Gretzky. I mean, we know he re-signed with the New York Rangers because he wasn't on the open market, but let's see what happens. Let's see what's up. Let's see what this team can do. And the answer is get pumped by Vancouver. And Patrick Waugh is hurt. Good start. Good start. I didn't even have my hopes up in the games. Like, watch this. God. At least we have Felix Potvin as a backup. Freaking Peter Sidorkowicz. Chris Simon's healthy, at least. Sorry to Jonas Höglund. Get out. We need our gritty boy in Chris Simon. Patrick Waugh's back. All right, so he didn't miss that much time. We got to send down Sidorkowicz. Waugh wasn't fully healthy, even though he was supposed to be fully healthy. Whatever. Just put him back in. You watch, he'll get hurt, even though he's the backup. Maybe not. Maybe not. He's fully healthy. There we go. We are actually not off to a great start. 8-7-0-0. Hardly the most impressive beginning to this season. Paul Kariya, just 12 points. Pavel Bure, just 13. I mean, Kariya and Bure are both snipers, so you have to wonder. Second line's not exactly clicking right now either. What if we swap Jason Allison for Pavel Datsyuk? They are both third liners, so our depth scoring has not been great so far. Pronger and Blake have been okay, and yeah, let's swap Yuskevich and Konstantinov. Bork barely has any points. Oh, Ray, we love you, buddy, but I don't really want to risk Konstantinov regressing. We'll leave it for the moment, but we have some concerns. Goaltending has been electric, though. So, yeah, we have some concerns early on, but it's been 15 games. You know, sometimes, you look at like the Edmonton Oilers and you lose to the god-awful San Jose Sharks and then you make it all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Right? You never know. You never know. Sometimes you just got to give it time. Pat Falloon is hurt. Injured with injured arm. Pavel Demitra is hurt down in Kansas City. We have started to win more games, though, at least this month. Jonas Hoagland, let's get you out of there for one Pat Falloon. We have a lot of snipers. Maybe we should have paid a smidge more attention. Maybe. Possibly. Potentially. 14-8-0-0, not bad. This has been a much better month for us. Konstantinov's out with a fractured jaw for 2 weeks. Still winning a lot of games. And actually, Konstantinov's back even before the 2 weeks are up. That's heart right there. Heart and grit. Boy, Marty McSorley did not work out well on that second pairing. Dmitry Yuskevich is hurt. Good to know. But December 1st of 1997, I believe. 19 wins, 8 losses, no overtime losses. Actually, no ties in an overtime loss. We are first in our division as well. Pavel Bure has found his scoring touch. See, we just need some patience with that top line. So far, so good. Long way to go, though, this season, and obviously the playoffs will be its own animal. See how December goes for us. If we could stop losing to Calgary, that would be great, because we play Calgary a lot. That would be pretty cool if we could stop losing to Calgary. Get Dmitry Yuskevich back in there. Patrick Waugh has been unreal. Just here to drop this off. Hope you like it. Deeds, thank you. You always deliver. 62
highly unnecessary.
I hope you're doing well, unlike our team, which is falling apart. Injury after injury. Damn it. Well, I swear we've already had more roster management this season than all of our previous seasons. Matt Barnaby is hurt. Matt Barnaby is healthy. All right. We're, we're fighting. We're hanging in there. 26-12-0-1 is a great record. We are in first in our division. Happy New Year. Pavel Bure not going to hit 71 goals this year, but he is still doing very well, which is good. Very, very good indeed. I can see why you've had injuries off. Yeah, this is typically why we play with injuries off. To be honest, we still could, because as it is, like, it's not as if Cam Neely was getting hurt with his like 50 durability. Like he was still playing full seasons constantly. So the way injuries are programmed in this mode right now, completely illogical, unfortunately. But was still doing well. Potvin not so hot, but he's the backup this year, so it's no biggie. Losses, a lot of losses this month. Quite a few ties as well. An absolutely garbage January for us drops us down to third in the division. We do have a lot of games at hand, though, on Vancouver and Calgary, but yeah, we are very inconsistent so far this year. Let's take a look at a couple of things. First and foremost, goaltenders. No one's NHL level. Calgary does have back-to-back cups, yes. They sure do. Yeah, no one's still jumped up to like NHL caliber in terms of player role. So Paul Kariya, I mean, 33 goals in 52 games when he's having to share the puck with Pavel Bure. That's not that bad. Brendan Moore is still racking up assist after assist. 42 goals for Bure. That second line still leaving a little bit to be desired. Datsuk defensively has been terrible, which is not very Pavel Datsuk-like. Not at all. Swap him back with Jason Allison. Defensively, Pronger and Blake, they've been all right. Bork and Yuskevich have actually been pretty good. So did Wah just have a bad... Yep, Wah had a bad month. Okay, we cannot afford to see Patrick Wah have a bad time, or things will still not go well for us. Obviously, we knew investing in a goaltender probably wasn't a great way to go, because when the hell does it ever work out? But I was hoping, of all people, Patrick Waugh would be able to provide some stability. Not quite. Not quite. Yaroslav Shatan. Injured. My goodness, the injuries this season are not helping. Swap Hoagland and Simon. That works. We have been really bad over the last month and a half. Like, really bad. I mean, obviously all that matters is the playoffs, but if we could get an easier road there, I'd be happy about it. We are still second in our division. Beat Tampa, tie against Edmonton, and overtime win against Boston. Third in our division now. Day before the deadline. Bure has 50 goals in 66 games, which is fantastic. Let's go to the trade deadline here. See who's available. Can't imagine I'd want to make any changes. Seibert on the left wing side. Wendell Clark. John LeClaire. I mean, there isn't anybody that fits the team needs. You could argue... Whoops. Well, I hit left bumper for Russ Courtnall. I mean, you could argue, like, Courtnall as a playmaker, but he just really doesn't fit the team. God, the full value bar for Pavel Bure. That is a beautiful sight. Prongers is somehow that far down. That is so weird. I cannot possibly handle this song right now. I'm so sorry. Can't do it. All right. By the way, Chara taps. I'm so sorry. I don't know what we could even do. Second line center rental isn't the worst idea. It would mean trading Jason Allison long term. Go back to available. Warrior. Happy to hear the good news. Terry Yake would be That's second line center. Adam Crichton's a power forward, so he doesn't really fit. Tom Curvers. I mean, Tom Curvers would technically be an improvement on Ray Bourque. Let's talk to Edmonton about Terry Yake. Terry Yake. We'd keep Datsuk for the third line and then the second line next year. Dude, Jason Allison's had a good season, though, on that second line. He's a power forward, but he can pass. Can't skate worth a damn, though. Is it worth it, though? Is it worth it for the sake of the player type? I mean, it would help the power play, I presume. I didn't check to see how good our power play stats were. I still could, but... The problem is Allison's probably going to have to go eventually anyway because he's going to step up to second line center, and that's going to be Datsuk's spot. So now's the time. Even though he's been good, we're still in third place, so we're not that good. We got this random guy, Watkins. Let's see who we can pick up here for dirt cheap. Blue. Will this work? Have anybody else I can use before we get into draft picks? Like Roosevelt. I mean, there's some other guys I don't necessarily want to use. We could definitely use Jacques. I don't mind using the not real people. We could put old Jean-Luc Grandpierre in the mix. We are going to have to start maneuvering in some draft picks here. We do have the Devils' first rounder in 2029, which is hilarious. Let's use our own second rounder next year in 2030. Allison, Watkins, Jacques in a second to try and get Terry Yake. Quite far off in value is not what I want to see. What about 2 second rounders? Apparently we weren't that far off, so we go for the home run swing. We move Jason Allison, who has been a good second line center, but not the best player type fit. We move him to Edmonton to bring in Terry Yake, who is a playmaker, who is a much better skater as well. Should fit this team well on that second line. To be honest, that's about all we can do as well in terms of improvements. I mean, the team is what it is from there, really. There's really no other movement to be made. Okay. That's our big move. Whether or not it works, well, we're going to find out. Any other blockbuster deals? Steve Thomas on his way to Vancouver. A couple draft picks involved. There's been a real lack of blockbuster trades over the past couple of seasons. I've noticed that trend. Defense is fine. That's good. That's good. Center, Yake. Okay. So if we go best lines, it'll still be Korea, Brindamore, Bure. We're going to go Elias, Yake, Falloon, Shatan, Datsuk, Doan, Simon, LaPerriere, Barnaby. Defense, Pronger, Blake, Oslunch, Konstantinov. Hawgood will be out for Bourque. Yuskevich can stay. Bourque only has 17 points, but it's Ray Bourque, man. And then Patrick Waugh in goal. That works. AHL, just go best lines. We don't have too much to worry about. That AHL team is very much going to be a title contender again, though. They couldn't pull off the 4-peat last year. But maybe they'll be good enough this time to win 4 in 5. So let's hope for a better March now that we, in theory, have a better player type set up. We'll hope that helps. But Vancouver, even without Pavel Bure, are still ahead of us in the standings, which is horrifying. Like, we can't finish lower after taking their best player. Dude, we are bad. Compared to what we should be, we are bad. Just 38 wins in an 84-game season so far. We have clinched a playoff spot, but we have no shot of getting that division title. I mean, Bure has been great. What the hell is the matter with this team? Is it goaltending? Like, has Patrick Waugh not been good enough? He hasn't been great. Like, he hasn't been a significant improvement on Potvin. Not at all. Defensively, I mean, Pronger and Blake. Rob Blake has 25 goals. He's been great. Carnage, what's up, by the way? Ozelinch and Konstantinov have been good. Bork and Yuskevich have been okay. 45 goals for Paul Correa. 78 assists for Rod. Versus 60 goals for Bure. I mean, Yake has been better here than he was in Edmonton, but it's still a bit scary. Pat Falloon has just 15 goals as a sniper. That's not great. Shatan, Datsuk, not terrible, but the plus minus is really bad. Shane Doan's been okay, and then the fourth line is pretty much out there just to take penalties, for being honest. But also, our coaching strat is roll 3 lines, so these guys shouldn't even be out there that much. We are going to leave the lines the same for the moment, but come playoff time, it might be worth mixing it up a little bit. We beat Buffalo. Tie St. Louis, so that's a point apiece. Tie Pittsburgh, oh my god. It's 13 ties this year. Islanders is an overtime win. Calgary, overtime wins. That puts us 2 points ahead of the Flames. And will likely secure us home ice advantage over them in round 1. We're going to be squaring off with the 2-time defending Cup champs again. We cannot escape Calgary, and the Vancouver Canucks, despite losing Pavel Bure, still put up 7 more points than we did in the regular season. That is a disaster for us. We'll obviously look at their stats in a second, but Jesus. So LA and Edmonton missed the playoffs, so it'll be Vancouver, Arizona, San Jose, and Calgary. Detroit will play Dallas. Chicago will play St. Louis. The Maple Leafs were tragic. It'll be Colorado, Buffalo, Montreal, and Ottawa. Pittsburgh will play the Islanders. The Devils will play the Rangers. So we were the 7th best team in the league. Unsurprisingly, Toronto finished dead last. Let's look at our stats for the year. I mean, Pavel Bure, electric season for him. 115 points, 62 goals. The top line all had at least 94 points. Terry Yake, just under a point a game after we acquired him, so that's not too bad. Jason Allison, you could argue, was doing better, though. 77 points for Eliash, 61 for Falloon, 59 for Datsuk, but he was a minus 13. Doan and Shatan were all right for third liners. The fourth liners were okay. Jonas Hoagland got to play 15 games due to injury. Due. Rob Blake, 74 points, 29 goals. That's the best performance we've had from a defenseman so far. 25 points for Bork. Marty McSorley had 43 PIMs in 13 games. Attaboy. That's what he's here for. Goaltending. Goalies are fucking useless, man. That's the only way to put it. They're absolutely useless. At least in the regular season. We could have used those assets to go after somebody else, and then maybe we wouldn't have offer sheeted Paul Correa. Maybe we would have gone for a top playmaker to be alongside to be alongside Rod Brindamore and Pavel Bure. In terms of the rest of the league, first and foremost, Vancouver. Cliff Ronning went off. We didn't hand them anybody at forward who thrived because we traded them there. Iafrate was a part of the deal, though. He had a very good season next to Jeff Brown. Roman Turek in goal was great. Okay. Around the league, Steve Yzerman leads the league in scoring. Jesus. Oh, shit. Yzerman, Hull, Sakic, Eddie Olczyk, Mario Lemieux, and Mike Modano up there for league goal or point scoring, but goal scoring, 92 goals for Brett Hull. Pretty sure that's the most I've ever seen in the season. If not, it's close. You had Lemieux on a very nice 69, Yzerman and Gartner on 63, Modano and our own Pavel Bure on 62. Holy shit. Defensively, 88 points for Jeff Brown, Brian Leetch, Phil Housley, Rob Blake, and Steve Duchesne round out the top 5. Top goal scorers were Al McInnes, Jeff Brown, Brian Leetch, Rob Blake, and Chris Chelios. For the goalies, the winningest was Ron Hextall in Colorado. You had Dunham, Hasek, Belfour, and Barrasso up there. Shutout leader with 5, Hextall, Turek, and Barrasso. And the save percentage king, you could argue it's Turek. You could also very much argue Ed Belfour or Tom Barrasso. For the rookies this year, Pavel Datsyuk led in scoring. The plus-minus might cost him the Calder. Jochen Heisch was up there, as was Martin St. Louis, but he had an abysmal minus 31 rating this year. So there's a chance we have another Calder winner. But 92 goals for Brett Hull. Goddamn. We draw the Calgary Flames in the playoffs. Again, worth noting, our AHL team won 47 games. They take on the Cleveland Lumberjacks in round 1. We'll see if they can make it a 4th title in 5 years. But our focus has to be on the main team here. And I can just reload the last prediction we had up. I think perhaps controversially, man, do we try to mix and match player types, What would that even look like? Like if we have like all 2 ways together, that would be ridiculous. The problem is we have 4 snipers and only 1 playmaker. I don't even know if it's costing us that badly in terms of player types. I don't know. AHL-wise, the best playmaker would be like a very young Mark Savard, Chris Drury. I think what we'll do is roll with best lines to start, with the exception... You know what? Actually, just outright. We'll roll with best lines, defense included, that puts in Greg Hawgood over Bork. And we'll adjust from there as need be. Wah will be the starter, but we'll adjust as we go as far as this playoff series is concerned, because, man, we have to get out of the first round. We have to. Last year was bad enough. Like, we moved on from Gretzky, Shanahan, Joe Juneau, and if we still don't make it out of the first round, that is an unbelievable failure. Calgary's won 2 cups in a row, and they still have a very similar roster. Gary Roberts, Robert Reichel, and Theo Fleury, who ended our season last year. Andre Lamakin, Joe Nieuwendyk, and Craig Simpson. Mike Ridley, who's lost his abilities. Brian Smolinski and Mike Craig, 2 first names. Rob DeMaio, Dean Evison, and Claude Lapointe on the fourth line. Defense, Gary Suter and Al McInnes. Sylvain Cote, Peter Svoboda, Gary Huffman, and Neil Wilkinson, the former Shark. Goaltender is Dominik Hasek with Trevor Kidd. No injuries. With Vladimir Ruzicka, Kelly Buchberger, and Dave McElwain. Oh, boy. Okay. I can't guarantee we're going to win this, obviously. I wish I could. Shout out to D. Cole. 58 months.
Jeez.
Shout out to Zaddy, as people are allegedly going to call him. That man was born to be a Bruin, damn it. D. Cole, I hope you've been well. You arrived just in time to see us get our collective asses kicked. You see our ratings. We have them beat in terms of defense and goaltending. The offense is in their favor at a 98 rating. So, back in the playoffs again against Calgary again. Let's see what the boys can do. It's game number 1, first round. Can we finally make it out of the first round? My God, we're the Maple Leafs at this point. First period of game 1, Shane Doan starts off the scoring. Not bad. I'm worried. Second period, goal apiece, Huffman and Pavel Datsyuk. So we go to third, up by 1. Not a bad way to start. Patrick Elias makes it 3-1. Trusting the coach, best line so far is working out. Pavel Datsyuk has his second of the game. It's 4-1. Make it 5. Patrick Elias. Unbelievable. No shot. Celebrini plays in the NCAA, right? If you've signed your ELC, you can't play in college. Celebrini will be a Shark next year. 5-1. Hell of a way for the Sharks to kick off this postseason. Patrick Waugh, probably his best game as a Shark. Elias and Datsyuk on the second line. Absolutely dynamic together. Even dominant, you might say. And we're up 1-0, which means nothing because I'm pretty sure we lost 4 in a row last year. If I'm not mistaken, but obviously no lineup changes after that. We'll jump right into game 2. First period, 2-0 Sharks. Fourth liner, Ian LaPerriere and Pat Falloon. The second line contributes once again. Second period. I did say we were built for the playoffs. Pavel Bure, Rob Blake, Sandis Ozolinsh, and Terry Ake. Sylvain Cote gets one back. It is 6-1. Heading into the third period. Make it 7-1. Pavel Datsyuk again. Pavel Bure on the power play. It's 8-1. Unbelievable. Pure dominance to defend home ice to kick off this series. 8-1 the final score. Rod Brindamore, a basket of apples. Elias as well, and of course the 2 goals for Pavel Bure. Speaking of 2 goals, just 2 goals allowed in this series so far for Patrick Waugh, who is injured with injured hamstring. Felix Potvin will take over in goal. Who you could argue should have been our starter all year long anyway. But Patrick Waugh is injured. Not for long, but could be long enough. All right. We're off to Calgary. We've outscored them 13-2 in this series so far. It's game number 3. Felix Potvin between the pipes. First period, goalless. Okay. Second period, still goalless. I mean, obviously, a good sign is Potvin is making saves. The negative, Hasek's woken up a little bit, and our scoring touch hasn't quite been the same. 5 minutes gone. Calgary power play. Still looking for our first goal of the game. Power play for the Sharks. Still nothing. Power play again for Calgary. And there is the opening goal. It's Mike Ridley. Another power play for Calgary. They can't convert. Late chance for the Sharks. And they run out of time. Patrick Waugh. Injured. Felix Potvin steps in. Stops 33 of 35, and it does not matter because Dominik Hasek puts up a 32-save shutout, and Calgary is right back in this series. The home team has yet to lose. That is the Dominik Hasek that we are used to seeing in the playoffs. Tremendous song. Those who know. Skipping it, though. We go to game number 4. Waugh will not be healthy. Waugh will be healthy, but here's the problem. Fuck. I gotta make... Okay. I have no choice here. Ray, I hate to do this to you. I have to send you down for the moment. Because I cannot let Patrick Waugh play in this game unless he's 100%. So we got to keep the goaltending like that, but we will make sure that Waugh plays, or that Bork will play in the AHL. One more check for Patrick here. Is he healthy enough to start game 4? No. 13 goals in 2 games. We were shut out in game 4. What's the story going to be in game 5? Or game 3, I should say. Now it's game 4. I'm getting ahead of myself thinking that we're going to blow a 2-0 series lead. First period, we're probably going to blow a 2-0 series lead. Sylvain Cote starts off the scoring. Second period, goal apiece, Terry Yake. Our first goal in over 4 periods. Crashy, good to see you. Theo Fleury on the power play, it's 2-1, so we go to the third. Still trailing, Claude Lapointe with a short-handed goal. We absolutely dominated the first 2 games. But Calgary is a different animal on home ice. Pavel Bure gets us back to within 1. Dean Evison makes it 4-2. And Calgary have battled back to tie the series at 2 wins apiece. Not good. Not good. Will Waugh be healthy for game number 5? No. So Felix Potvin is still in. It's game 5. It was a 2-0 series lead. We are now tied at 2 apiece. Colin good, but not quite as good as we were hoping it'd be. First period, 2-1 Calgary. Robert Reichel and Rob DeMaio. Rod Brindamore gets us on the board. Second period, still 2-1. Dude, our offensive touch is gone. Our offensive touch is gone. Power play for Calgary. 3-1 Calgary on Roman Chekamanik, our third string goalie. Ian LaPerriere gets us back. Rod Brindamore ties the game. 4 minutes left. And we're going to overtime in game 5. We're not going to jump in yet because it's non-elimination, but this is a gigantic overtime. Who will have the series lead heading into game 6 back in Calgary? The answer is Calgary. The Flames, the 2-time defending Cup champions, have won 3 games in a row and are 1 win away from eliminating the Sharks again. And Felix Potvin has sprained his ankle. Good news is Wah is fully healthy. We face being eliminated again. We'll keep Czechmonic there. Defense. We're going to have to check a few things. Pronger and Blake have been okay, not amazing. Nobody on our defense has been particularly bad. When it comes to the forwards, Paul Kariya without a goal in 5 games. Not ideal. Well, out of desperation, we're going to have to look for some changes here. Pure desperation. We're going to send down Simon and Hoagland for the moment. Mark Savard is getting a call-up. We're going to try to base this on player types. So, LePerriere, Barnaby, and Doan. Perrier will be the center. Doan will be on his off wing. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we are going to find out. This is going to be a bold strategy gotten. Desperate times call for incredibly desperate measures. It will be Bure, Savard, Kariya, Eliash, Brindamore, Datsuk, Shatan, Yake, Falloon, Doan, LePerriere, Barnaby. We're just trying to go off of player types and how well they might match up. And desperate times call for real desperate measures. We got to win 2 in a row. I can't really afford to put Marty McSorley in because he'll probably take away too many PIMs. Go best lines for the AHL. They get some veteran reinforcement. Our season is on the line in Game 6. Patrick Waugh back between the pipes. Let's do it. Season on the line. Game 6, will Calgary knock us out again? First period, 1-0 Sharks of all people. Sandish Ozelinsh. Second period, 4-0 Sharks. Bure, Brindamore, and Konstantinov. My goodness, John Cena was legendary night. I agree. He is a master at avoiding questions at a press conference. I agree. We are up 4-0. 2 goals from defensemen as well. We go to the third. I mean, Game 7 should be on the horizon. If we find a way to blow it from here, then I don't know what the hell we're going to do in regards to this team moving forward. Ozelinsh, second of the game. 5-0 Sharks. Mike Ridley ends the shutout. Crash probably not, but it will be good. Claude Lapointe makes it 5-2. But we are heading to Game 7 against our tormentors from Calgary. Anyway, as I've stated before, we've delayed this long enough. It is game number 7 against the Calgary Flames. Let's go out and lose to the 2-time defending champions because Pavel Bure's overrated. That's right, I said it. Pavel Bure's overrated. Just like the Canucks franchise as a whole, overrated. First period. I was really hoping that was going to be a Pavel Bure goal, but it didn't happen. 1-1 at the end of the first. Datsuk and the former Shark, Neil Wilkinson. Second period. Hey, goal piece again. Pavel Bure. That's right, Pavel. We called you out. We called you out. Game number 7. Flames and Sharks. Are we finally making it out of the first round? Let's find out. Power play for the Sharks. Nothing doing. Power play for the Flames. Robert Blake. Pavel Bure. I ain't ever lost. Never once. There was no documented evidence of me taking a single L, and there never will be, because the San Jose Sharks, despite a scare, are moving on to round number 2. We have knocked off the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Calgary Flames, thanks to Pavel Bure. Notice how I called him out. There you go. Absolutely stepping up. We are moving on to round number 2 to probably lose to the Vancouver Canucks.